once in a generation of film rises.
Your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Fastcart, you still here?
Yep, it's live.
You have the old Soul Talk title. Oh wait, no, that's right. Never mind. Sorry.
We're live. Man, I am just getting called out before the show.
No, you're good. You're good.
How's everybody? Today is Thursday, February 29th, 2024. The last day of Black History Month in this year, and we have an extra day this year, so yay. Today, well, I already said today, this is episode 135, Tactical Captical. And yes, this is Host Talk, where we talk Thursdays to members of the community. You got me all messed up now, Jared. Congratulations. I'll blame you. I'm joined by Jade, as you can hear earlier, and Kalrati. How are you doing?
What up, what up, what up? Happy to be here. Hello, beautiful people.
I just want to say thank you for being on time, or almost on time, mostly on time. Because you
Hey,
got
I was on
times
time
on right.
before you, so
No, when I got here,
I
you
was
went
still
out here,
waiting for
so
people.
I don't count that. How are you doing? How was your week?
oh, pretty good. Even better today, and I'm guessing we're gonna talk about that very, very soon. But yeah, I finished Dead Space, so ain't going back
Oh,
to that
cool.
game for a very long time. And yeah, been pretty much enjoying today.
And Jade, how was your week?
It got a lot better today, but we're gonna get to that.
Okay, everybody's saying it got better today. Well, my week has been pretty good. As I said before, the last day of Black History Month, and going to try to make the best of that. I took a week break from my reading spree. I ended my 85-day reading streak, and I took a week break, and then I got back into it like this past Sunday. And I think my issue is there are many book series that have long series, like 12 books, 18 books. I think my cutoff should be like 8 or 9 books, because after that, the story kind of gets stale, in my opinion. Not for everybody, but for me, but tend to get stale. So maybe I burned myself out. So yeah,
So
hopefully
what book are you
I
reading?
won't. It depends. Mostly isekai. It's like well, the ones I'm reading are like game universes. Like people get sucked
Right.
into the game, and yeah.
Okay.
And
So
I'm
similar to
trying to
like
find what was that?
oh, I was gonna say it's being sucked in the game, kind of similar to like a novel version of Wow. So Sword Art Online, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, Sword Art Online. That was not the first. The first was Dot Hack Sign. That was the first. That was out
okay.
in 2000. But Sword Art Online just
Interesting.
made it more popular. But yeah, similar to that and similar to like Ready Player One, that kind of thing. But yeah,
I'm actually
mostly
reading
like
this book called Winds of War.
Wings of War, okay. But mostly it's like sci-fi or isekai. I try to stay away from fantasy, like high fantasy, like elves and hoplop and goblins and stuff like that. But sometimes if the writer is good, I'll get into it. But I try to stay with the sci-fi stuff.
Right.
But I am in the middle of the latest season of Star Wars Bad Batch. Have you seen that?
No, I have not. Tell me about it.
It's it's continuation of Rebels, continuation of Clone Wars. Have you seen it, Jade?
No, I have not.
No, okay. Well, it's pretty good. It's mostly good for children, obviously, mostly. But I'm not really keen on the art style. I was never a fan of the Clone Wars art. I was disappointed when they incorporated it into the Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO. But it's a good story, so I can deal with that. I do have a negative recommendation. Do not watch the latest Tyler Perry movie called Mea Culpa. The acting is horrible. It's not even a good movie to make. It's not even a good movie to make fun of with a group. That's how bad it is.
Oh man, it's been a while since I watched the Tyler Perry movie. That's disappointing to know, though. Oh man.
Yeah, they call it Mea Culpa. But I do want to recommend a good Tyler Perry movie. That's called Acrimony, and it has Taraji P. Henson in it. So check that one out. But stay clear of Mea Culpa. It had the worst rating review on Netflix. That's how bad it is.
It bites. It really bites.
So yeah, so good recommendation, Acrimony, bad recommendation, Mea Culpa. Okay. All right, so we have a lot to get through, so I'm going to do my thing, and then we can get through it. I always mess myself up because I'm looking at what I'm supposed to read, and I start smiling, but I'm trying to be serious, so let me see if I can find my, my inspiration, my inner seriousness. Yeah, good luck with that. Anyway, here we go. I say, and I say it again, y'all been had, y'all been took, y'all been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. We didn't land on Port Olisar. Port Olisar landed on us. It's in the video, but we're out of frame when it happened. I have a dream that one day everyone will be able to board my Bandy Merchantman and shop to their heart content. I have a dream that the BMM will be free at last. Free at last. The BMM will be free at last. I spared y'all. I was planning on singing lift every voice and sing. So y'all got the better. Y'all got the better thing.
You chose wisely.
Yeah, you did.
I know this one, but I'm gonna wait until somebody else goes.
And Wayne, Cloud, I see you in chat too. I'm gonna drag you down, but let me know if you're not here for this show. Wayne, are you in for the show?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So yes, we were joined by Emma Kusanagi, Pistol Face, Poppin' Face, Rain Cloud, and Uriah the Smoke. How's everybody doing?
Frosty.
Not really. Pretty good, thanks.
So
I'm gonna
ask the guest. I did two things really, but where are they from?
One was Malcolm X.
Right.
The
What was the other
Martin
one?
Luther King.
Thank you.
Martin Luther King.
And this has been FT's Great Moments in Black History. All right. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing well?
Yep.
Yes. Well as can be.
Just got
All
done
right,
spreading
so-
managed democracy for Super Earth.
Oh,
Hey.
you and everybody else, Rain.
All right, so let's get started. We're going to go out to our sneak peek from last Friday, and hopefully I'm sharing the right screen. We need to make sure, sharing the right screen. So the subtitle is "Close up the hangar doors, we're home," and it sounds like I don't know. It sounds like something from Star Wars, but I'm not sure where the exact quote is from, if it's from anything. But yeah, so what do people think?
Arrowview hangar? Well, do you think? Well, wait a minute. Arrowview. Do you think we're gonna get hangars back?
Yeah, we are going to get hangers back. The question is when.
Yeah, there you go.
Aeroview hangar. What hangar is this?
Airview hangar.
Where's Aeroview hangar?
But take a look
It's
at the
not in the
door.
game. They took it out.
Yeah, they took it out a long time ago.
The
yeah,
Airview
I mean,
hangars, the Airview
Go ahead.
hangars are actually at New Babbage
Yeah,
Interstellar Spaceport and at Orson.
right. I was gonna say New Babbitt. That's
Yeah.
where you can see him. I'm looking forward to getting my Revel New York
Oh.
back because I missed the Revel New York.
I don't think
What do
I
you
ever
guys think
played.
about the door from below?
That's what I
Mhm.
was
Yeah, I
There's
think
like a door.
Yeah.
I think our ship is gonna come up out of there.
Oh, wait, like in Elite Dangerous?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
It's a possibility. And who knows, this could possibly be why they delayed vehicle spawning. Because if vehicle spawning was coming from the freight elevators, maybe they're using the same thing for ships. They decided to focus
Yeah,
on
I
ship
think
spawning.
I think it would definitely be a situation where, I mean, they have to spawn the vehicle in somehow, right? They have to unstow it and spawn it in somehow. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to make it so that it's as immersive as possible. And so I think it'll spawn and then rise up is probably
I
what I think
thought-
will happen.
I always took it as like we would be locked out of the area until the ship spawns in. Like when we call the ship from
That
the
might not happen
kiosk.
anymore.
Yeah, my question is like, in the previous hangars we had these little dots on the floor to spawn our ships. If this
Never
is
knows.
like opening on the floor, how are we gonna? I guess we're gonna use like a I don't know, a terminal to spawn them like now.
Like,
Yeah, I thought they showed the ASOP terminal that we're gonna use.
wait a minute. There's ships that barely fit in certain hangars.
Mm-hmm.
How much room will we have to stand in for it to open up?
I believe at least a Carrack, but I don't know about anything larger than a Carrack. I mean, that's what it was previously. So I don't want to say like that's what it's going to be from like now on, but previously it was like Carrack size. I don't think we could. No, we couldn't do a Starfare, right?
I got so many questions. What about in other ships? Like things persisting. Like I thought they was planning on having spawning in ships.
They
like
are.
vehicles.
They are.
Yeah, but that's something different. This is just the hangar, the personal hangar that players used to have, but they're doing an overhaul and changing them. Because after a while, because we used to have hangars, and then they started breaking, and then it got to a point where they just completely took them out.
Oh, so this definitely is before I started playing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a little confused with the positioning of this because say you're landing in the hangar and say that you're coming onto the pad to store that ship and say pull out another ship. You would expect this door to open up and then the ship to fall beneath it.
Yeah.
And then see what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm
Like
thinking.
so how does it separate? So say you spawn a ship at the kiosk and it comes up. It separates and goes underneath the floor so you don't see it. And you have some giant lift come up, then those wouldn't be there at all. So I'm just trying to figure out like how this thing is supposed to work. Maybe does it lift it up?
I don't
I'm
think
so
it matters.
confused.
I don't think it matters. Like I think it's one of the reasons why I personally wish they'd stop doing the sneak peeks because
You don't like them either.
we can
I don't like this.
I mean, the ships will spawn in and rise up and then probably lower back down and despawn. It's really not that complicated. If this is how they're going to do it, then
Maybe it's being used for both things. Like for example, you enter from the outside and it takes you to the lift from below this area here, and you enter and the lift comes up, exit the ship, then to despawn the ship, it goes back down. So when it comes to exiting the hangar and coming back in, it goes below this area. When it comes to spawning and despawning, same function depending on.
That would be really cool.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see, I guess.
I'm not a fan of Elite Dangerous.
I'm a fan of that part of Elite Dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, this one is pretty cool, So when I saw this, it was like, huh.
I just
It's a
don't
good
see them
addition.
I just don't see them copying exactly. So they're gonna have to put some type of spin to this.
Why?
Because why do you want to do something another
What?
popular
Why?
space skip did?
Why do elevators work the same way in every game you go in. You go in an elevator and it goes up and down. That's all this is. It's just a big
Yeah.
elevator.
It's that whole thing.
Elevators go up and down.
Well,
And it goes sideways. You're right.
This doesn't have an up
Good
and down.
point.
This is a giant split through the middle. So I just don't understand what happens to that.
Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and find out.
That you beat me to it. I was gonna say what Griffin just said. We just gonna have to wait and see. But I mean, I'm really looking forward to this because I really missed the old hangars. It was like every patch I would go in and redecorate my hangar. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. All right. So up next we have last week's Star Citizen Live Q&A distribution center. And we had John and James, as you can see here, and then in the last half we had our first Stefan. So did anyone had a chance to watch?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw Face to Face light up first. What did you think?
Oh, it was really cool. I mean, from what they talked about as far as the distribution centers, having missions where you could just actually make money just sitting there, just making money. I'm not just literally sitting there, but I'm talking about like doing missions there as far as, transporting something from one storage facility to another storage facility on the other side of the facility. So, I mean, that's really cool. Plus they talked about having other towns or facility somewhere nearby, and you might have to do like a FedEx route or something like that. And also talked about, where you have to now think about using ground vehicles,
Yay!
to transport stuff. So I was like, yeah, all right.
I missed who else
put on my
light up.
brown shirt.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, there's no Pop saw. He's with me. Caps said something. I don't know who else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Pops and Caps. Well, Pops, what were your thoughts?
Basically, I was excited about. I'm just going to mention two things about org's possibility having a part in it, and the other thing that they did mention was the crime stats for people, and possibly you'll be retain a crime stat, and which I think it's a good idea, because if you're a criminal, you're not supposed to really be able to, just like in real life, if you're on the 10 most wanted list, it's not like you're going to move through society out. No, it's a big risk. So I think that I think it's a good idea, but they were doing a lot of theory crafting.
And Cap?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. That last part that Pops just said was part of what I was going to say. We went, and it was good to see James. James came over with Todd Pappy to the Soul Citizens table, took some pictures with us at the Citizencon. So it was exciting to see him talk about his work. But the conversation, because of the nature of Q&A, went from some certainties around distribution centers to as in response to that question, we could imagine doing that. And it got far afield from what I think the first iteration will be into speculation.
Okay, I felt that vibe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The thing that I liked was the reiteration that missions can happen entirely within them. So we're going to see in this first run, I believe, some missions where you're going to just go from section A to section B within the distribution center. And I think that'll help us get to know all the nooks and crannies of these big new spaces, because sometimes we get these things and we go, oh, I've seen it, so I understand it, versus like a deeper dive, and a mission might help drive that. The last thing I'll say is that Stefan, who was the principal technical artist for Stefan towards the end, I liked that he was a Wing Commander fan, and that's what drew him. He's been there 12 years. And as we see change happening across the teams, it's nice to have somebody who has not only been around for that long, but also has been an aficionado, a fan of Chris Roberts' work for as long as some of us have. So it was good stuff.
Cool. Anyone else?
Thank you for your input. I was really I was kind of perplexed about like how much of what he was saying was coming like right now when the facilities come out, because like I was starting to feel like everything he was saying was more speculation because that's not really his department.
I felt like the nature of the Q&A questions that were elevated lent itself to that. But I think the beginning was a lot more of what we're actually getting.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely say that most of watch the ISC and you would get some more uncertainties. So one of the things I think that didn't lend itself to future aspects was particularly the some places being armistice zones, some places being pure hostility, and some of the places just being a mix of both. So that was some good information to get out of this as well.
Kalrati, your volume is wonky. It's going. You start off good, and then you got real quiet at the end. So yeah, just letting you know.
Right now, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just letting you know.
Cool. All right, cool. So yeah.
What was I gonna say? Okay, so I watched it last week. Unfortunately, I didn't take many notes, so I tried to find the Nubifiers, abbreviation. He didn't have one up, so I watched like the last 15 minutes and to refresh my memory and take some notes. One thing I will say that Forrest and Fawn was talking. Jared asked him about stories from the olden days, like when they first started. And Forrest Fawn laughed and says he has stories that could get them all fired. I'm looking forward to meeting him at a Citizencon or a bar citizen, and people giving him drinks so he can tell stories. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that is started into live Q&A distribution center from last week. Check that out.
FC, that was devious, but okay.
Hey, that's what people have been saying for the last 12 years. I've been saying they thought he had bar citizen with CIG. No, that's not a joke, man. I'm just saying.
You gotta do it in advance, man. Like, sometimes you just feel it coming in, you know.
But I'm just saying, like, that's what people do at bar citizens. They get developed and drunk, and have them tell stories. And,
yeah,
that's what
that was the point. That's what everybody comes
Exactly.
You gotta watch out for y'all.
Watching all the devs stumble around.
It's like that fastcart sound like he straight lace your drink with truth serum or something.
He knows a strategy, man. He knows a strategy.
Not truth serum. I'm just my natural personality just brings out the truth out of people. That's all. That's what I'm saying. And speaking of Citizencon, they had a question from Spectrum this week about the Citizencon venue. Don't you already know which venue in Manchester it'll be? And he's one of the community managers, but he's specifically a community manager for Citizencon. He said, as our Citizencon website said, Citizencon 2954 returned to Manchester Central October 19th and 20th on 2024. That's what it says on Manchester Central. And you can see Manchester Central is bold. People outside of UK may not know. We're just assuming that that's a general area like the Microsoft Plaza back in LA. But Manchester Central is in fact the name of the venue that Citizencon is going to be at. So people outside of the UK, we were mostly confused. You can see, people are saying it might be worth the clarification of that on is a venue and not an area. That's what Captain Snuggles say. So they haven't done it yet, but so just letting people know, Manchester Central is the location for the venue, and you have 232 days before Citizencon. So get that passport and get your accommodations ready. So yes, thank you, Cap. Manchester Central Convention Complex. I don't know why they didn't just put that in. It's two extra words. It's two extra words.
People can also Google. I'm just saying. You can also Google.
It's Google, but we just assume it's an area, not a place. Because yeah. Mm-hmm. I assumed it was a place. I assumed it was an area. I didn't know it was a place, a convention center.
Darren, buy
No,
some tickets accidentally a few days in advance, man. That's you won't notice. You won't notice.
So yeah, so I'm just curious, like how many people are going so far in here?
Thinking about it.
Considering.
Thinking about it. What we thought
I'm
you
probably going. I'm probably going.
Okay, so,
All right,
so
yeah.
a couple of us.
All right.
I'm planning on going to VerseCon if there's a VerseCon. I don't really have the funds to go over to Europe. But yeah, I know people are saying, like, if you say it now, you can start. No, I'm in debt, so I got to pay stuff off before I can do that.
If they
So
go to
we'll see.
VerseCon, like VerseCon is like in Boston or something like that.
Austin. I wish it was Boston. No, PAX East is Boston. VerseCon is Austin, Texas. But we don't know if there's going to be one this year because they had some financial troubles last time in 2019.
Is it always Austin though? Or is it just...
well, it's only been two. Oh. There's one in 2017 and 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is our, weekly Citizencon update. So Manchester Central is the name of the venue, not the area. Up next, we have This Week in Star Citizen. Tuesday, had the Galactapedia. We'll talk about in a bit. Thursday, Inside Star Citizen. We'll get to that. And I'm looking forward to Jump Point because they talk about last year's FHC Lightning event. And I want to see some background with that. And also, detailing the development of the attack shooting. I want to see some stuff about that. I looked before the show, but I didn't see the Jump Point in the subscriber area. So, hopefully it'll be coming soon, before midnight. But we'll see. And then tomorrow, there is no Star Citizen Live this week, tomorrow. So, but you look forward to the site newsletter.
Yeah, everybody's gonna go watch Dune 2. That's why.
Say it again.
I think it's because everybody's gonna go watch Dune 2.
That comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, that comes out tomorrow. Well, tonight actually, in some places. Yeah. But yeah,
right now
I'm gonna wait for the stream. MT Stunner says they saw Dune 2 today.
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna wait. But yeah, let us know if it's good. I'm expecting a full report, not a full report, but not
it's on HBO
report.
Max, right?
Say it again.
It's on HBO Max, right?
The first one, not the second one. The second one will be in theater for a while.
I thought they were doing. I thought Dune 2 was gonna be on HBO Max. Like the Dune 1.
Not starting tomorrow, no.
What? Doom 1 was on HBO Max?
Yeah, it was over COVID. So.
Yeah. I spent way too much money.
And Danger Hobo said, Dune 2, Dune, where's my car? I gotta give you a plot for that one, Danger Hobo. That's a FC kind of joke. I approve. Scrolling down, they have the schedule for this week. And okay, talk about Jump Town. We'll get to that in a bit too. But they have the MVP, Ludicrous Lillian Low Flying. That's a lot of L's, but yeah. So embark on a breathtaking journey, and this video showcasing the highlight of the recent Under the Radar Low Flying event. Kaelistar takes you on an adrenaline field ride as young pilot first elements of the craft and navigating mere feet above stunning landscape and executing rare maneuvers that will leave your health pounding. And we'll get to that later in the show because that's going to be Machinima for this week.
And that's one of my org mates.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're only a small 100-person org, and this is somebody that's really big in the racing and low-flying community and really good at recording stuff, so it's worth it.
Yeah, so check that out, or you can just wait until the end of the show and we'll check it out all together. But yeah, this is the community hub post, Ludicrous Lillian Low Flying, highlights from the Under the Radar event on Luria. So yeah. All right, up next we have, this came out. I don't want to say, it's breaking news. I want to say it just in, because it came out like a few hours ago, right?
It's still breaking news for many people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, Iwakari Playtest, static server, messing, tech preview playtest. Iwakari testers. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you said one of the thing they want to bring it to attention: do not use the jump gates. We are issuing a warning about the jump gates. They're currently a bug that will break every game in the PU with you if you attempt to use them. If you use them in today's build, it will break it for everyone on the server with a bug that requires them to relog. We'll consider this a PvP action which is against the Ivakari rule. So I don't know how often that happens for y'all, but yeah, do not use jump gates.
So wait a minute, hold on.
Press the button.
Yeah, I mean that reminds me of a time like when the Starfare first came out. Every time you spawn a Starfare, the whole server crashed. So it feels similar to that. But what were y'all gonna say?
Nah, it seems like that's gonna be that's in Ivakari, right?
Ivakari,
right now. So yeah, you guys have a different set of rules than when you get into the PU and live. So if they don't fix it by then that's gonna be a griefer mechanic all day. I can see that.
But it's too bad. Y'all can't press the button.
That won't make it in the live.
I just want to tell Kalrati, don't do it.
No, I'm definitely not going to do that.
Because they can
Kalrati, are you a good person in Ivakari, or are you just a evil?
I'm a very good person in Ivakari.
You're a good person in Ivakari.
Complete opposite.
Oh my god. I gotta meet you in Ivakari somehow. But you have playtest instructions, Ivakari under NDA, no streaming videos and screenshots. I think this is our first time looking. Well, I don't recall previously when we did this on Soul Talk, but this is our first time doing an Ivakari playtest. What do you call it? Playtest thing. So to talk about features, static server messaging, 2x DGS, Stanton Pyro server crash recovery, focus general gameplay, interaction, delay reproduction, preview only. We're the Tech preview channel. Build, they have those numbers, US server only. When today, a 4-hour playtest starting to be decided. And I guess it started 2 hours ago?
Yeah, a little under 3 hours ago. So,
3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in there right now.
You're in there right now.
Yep. I'm in here at Pyro.
Well, whatever you do, don't show anything. You can tell us about it, but don't show anything.
No. I can be very descriptive with my words, but I can't show you anything.
Right.
What kind of colors you see?
All of them.
So they said they will have a dedicated issue console environment open for reporting issues, known issues. Pyro-based missions are not currently being offered. Expansion-based missions may be offered while in Pyro, but may not be completable. Outpost and settlement location Pyro player do not have quantum travel markers. While server crash recovery is enabled, not all gameplay systems will recover gracefully. Please let them know where if you see issues. While in Stanton, Pyro jump points are present in this build, but are not functional, and attempting to use it may result in graphical anomalies. We know this is very exciting, and we look forward to testing with this you soon. But please avoid them for now. The jump point drive UI that you may see in some vehicles is a placeholder. Call out Stanton or Pyro may be selected when joining the game. It is not currently possible to travel between them. When you have chosen a starting system, it will not be possible to change it later. Please use the thread and issues and call out along the issue council. This is a big milestone. We want to thank you all for testing along with us. So yeah. So go back to anyone who's Ivakari, Jay, Kalrati, and I'm not sure who else is in there. Anyone else in Ivakari besides those two? No. Okay. So Jade and Kalrati, what else can you tell us?
Yeah, go ahead, Jade.
Yeah. Well, let's see. One of the things that I noticed right away because I picked Pyro was that the outer system is now explorable, which we didn't have in the Pyro playtest. There are now quantum markers for the outer planets and moons and stations, and it's still unfinished. Like some things are not finished as you'd expect in an early Evocati patch. Plus, that isn't a testing. That isn't a testing focus. Testing focus is server meshing itself. So it could be that this stuff is more finished on another branch, but what we're testing doesn't have that in it. That's part of Evocati too. We don't necessarily get everything that's going to be eventually. We get what the testing focus is.
Was there a
Next
new
question.
Evocati pack today?
What's that?
Was there a new Evocati pack today, or can you
Yeah,
not
that's
say
what.
it?
That's what. Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
These
that's what they
patch
said.
notes are
Okay.
for. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask you a
Kalrati, how
question?
about you?
Yeah.
One thing to note, I think given that we're still testing the replication layer and server crash recovery as per the roadmap, I don't know if many people were looking or were thinking that we would also kind of quote unquote jump the gap and start testing tech review of server meshing. I'm sure given that they were aiming for the middle of this year, we would think that they would have may have done things more sequential. But this goes to show that just because they're testing one thing, which is a server crash recovery, doesn't mean that they have to iron it down, or get it further to a point before we get server meshing. So it's really nice to see that they were able to integrate and merge the progress that they did with the server crash recovery with this server meshing tech preview to continue on, because that's what they're testing now. So it doesn't mean that they wanted to or they needed to wait and hold everything back. So in my case, I started with Stanton, and it was also nice to see the stability there. So once again, as per the patch notes, they're not testing anything like feature-wise that's completely new. But it's also, at least based on my experience, it's been pretty stable. Albeit we haven't, once again, we don't have any new features to really break anything. So it's good to see that we're getting that kind of stability with the server meshed experience, So that's a good thing going forward, especially in Evocati. They want to ensure that, okay, the current build with this merge functioning well before they move on to making any kind of refinements and adding anything in the game dev build. Yeah, so far so good.
You were asking something?
Yeah. How do you test something you're not supposed to notice?
Well, what do you mean?
Like with server meshing and stuff. Like how? I guess that's too detailed.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Stability. If everything functions as normal, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Right. Like if there were hiccups or things where a server is recovering. Like for instance, we were all testing the replication layer, and we wanted the servers to crash to see if we could recover from them, right? In this test, it's just I guess like play as normal, and I guess they're just gathering data on the actual server stability and things like that.
Yeah, what we can add, which I think persons will really appreciate, is that given that under playtest instructions, you see features static server meshing to DGS. So we know that DGS is dedicated game server. So Stanton has one game server while Pyro has another. What was being reported also with respect to that is that, one a Pyro system or the DGS for Pyro may crash, but those in the Stanton half, because they're sharing one shard, they were operating fine, right? So it just continues to kind of validate the work that they've done with respect to the replication layer and splitting the replication layer from the simulation or from the servers themselves. So in other words, you're, flying in Stanton in a server meshed environment. Anyone who's in Pyro, they may have experienced a 30K crash, but you're in Stanton and you're fine. So that was good to see. Well, not good for the people in Pyro, but it was still good to to see that that work is actually functioning as expected.
There's a lot of other subsystems that are being tested probably on their back end too, like the gateway and scribe subsystems and stuff that are running.
Yeah, the hybrid service. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like the whole point of this is from a development perspective, like Jade said and like Kalrati said, if if I'm asking you to log into a server and play test the server, and I've done something to the server, if the server doesn't respond the way I want it to, and I get that telemetry, you're not really supposed to quote unquote notice outside of like those stability issues or hitches or frame rate drops or graphical issues or assets not loading correctly, animations not playing correctly, all that kind of stuff. But it's more for me on the dev side to get like that sort of all that telemetry that everything I've done for the server infrastructure is working correctly.
So I have a quick question, but before that, I want to introduce Flero. Flero, welcome to the show.
Hello,
Hey.
Flero.
Hello.
Hey, Flare.
Hello.
Hey.
So my quick question is: have either of you been to the actual jump point? Even though you can't go through, have you gone and take a look at it?
I ain't gonna sniff at that, right? I ain't taking any chances.
Well,
What about you, Jade?
I'm a little bit more brave than Kalrati in this regard. I know not to push any buttons, but I did want to see what the nebula looked like on the other side of the Stanton Pyro jump point. So well, in this case, the Pyro Stanton jump point. So I did go out there only as far as to see the nebula, and then like I cut my quantum because I wasn't going to go anywhere near the actual jump point.
All right, that's fair. I mean, but is it looking similar to what we've seen before, or is it looking different?
It's beautiful, and it looks like what we were shown during Citizencon. Where they were explaining how, like what they were saying was like they wanted to convey a certain thing about going into Pyro versus going into Stanton, and that's there. Yeah.
Is this
So
Ivacati?
What's that?
Is this Ivacati?
Yeah, it's the Ivacati. Both I and Kalrati, if you didn't know, are both in Ivacati.
Oh, did you guys see the jump gate?
I no, we're not allowed to test the jump points yet. We won't be Ivacati long if we do that, just because it will cause everything to crash. So we're not.
No. I read about
that.
that. I thought you guys. I was saying like if you saw the structure though, the ring.
So this is another thing that's a misunderstanding, and I blame CIG for these patch notes because they keep calling them jump gates here. But the narrative team made a conscious effort. If you go back to CitizenCon 2951, there's a talk with David Haddock from the narrative. Yeah, Dave Haddock from the narrative team, and he explained that they wanted to convey that these are natural objects and that your ship opens up the jump point, not the structure around it. So they don't have the rings anymore, right? That's not a thing. At least that, and he explained why. It's because they don't want people to think of them as gates. These aren't stargates or jump gates. These are 3-dimensional spherical volumes, right? Like wormholes would be in real life if we ever confirmed one. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, that is the Ivacati playtest. That is the Messing Tech preview playtest. So yeah, thank you for that information to both of you and everybody in chat. Up next we have Capture the Idris. Now this event has ended because it was between the 23rd and 27th, so it ended 2 days ago. But we haven't had a chance to discuss it. So yeah, did it Capture the Idris? Anyone participate?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fleo,
when you say participate.
Fleo, since you're new coming here tonight, what was your experience, Fleo?
So I have two types of experiences. The first one was on the PTU. I got really close. Like I actually got really close to landing in it and completely blew up in the server 30K. On the live servers though, same thing. Got really, really close, but actually landed in it. And then I just got shot and died. There's a lot of people in there that are trying to take control of it. It's a really hectic event.
How many people were on your server on the last time?
Probably like 100 or even like 90.
100 or 90. Okay.
Yeah. Server FPS that was like 5.
Oh, okay. Who else?
I was, me and my Org Black Star Legion. We
like 4 times, right?
Yeah, once again, right? And I'm only mentioning it because we were one of the few, I guess, that were able to do it. In fact, we posted our video on the community hub. I just put a link in. But yeah, like it was 900 or it was 99 people to 99 100 people once everybody from my group got in. So it was a full server. And we were actually on several Idrises like over the weekend. I think I was on.
Now,
I think,
it's
3.
not Idris, it's Idri. No, I'm kidding.
It's
Go
dry,
ahead.
right? It's Reese, like geese. I don't know, but yeah, no, we were able to get on a couple, and there was one that was like crash landed on Daymar that we weren't able to get on, but everybody was fighting over it. I saw a lot of Idrises this weekend.
You
So,
said it was
but
crash landed on Daymar.
yeah, some org captured it and they brought it to Daymar. There was another Idris that we had boarded at New Babbage, and there was another Idris that we had fought with and got on in space. So yeah, it's interesting. It was an interesting event. It was hard to fight on Idris because like we're all new to this. We don't necessarily know the floor plan and everything, right? Even after we've been on our first one, people were still learning, but we got it down. And as you see in the video, like, when we stormed the bridge, it was easiest, no stopping us pretty much.
It's a big hangar too.
Yeah, it's a
It's
huge ship.
huge.
No comment. So yeah, seek and subdue between 23rd and 27th. In this war game mission for the chance to capture and control an Idris for as long as you can. Advance the world. These are behemoth, fully crewed by our developers and sometimes AI, but we'll get to that in a moment. And they were hungry to fight. I rally your crew to see if you can take them down and fend off attackers from the new Idris, new capital class throne as long as you can. So that's what you got. Kind of contest. We'll get to that in a moment. These are some more screenshots. And the Idris sale is over, so that's why the promotion has ended. But they sold out quickly. $1,500 US. Boom, gone. Anyone pick up an Idris?
No, it's $1,300.
No, I have a javelin, so I figure it's going to be a loaner for it anyway before the javelin's in. So no.
Before I head out, my org leader for Maple Tree dead.
Oh, Violet.
Yeah, Violet bought an interest.
She didn't tell me. Okay.
Oh,
Awesome. I'm in that org too.
awesome.
I know some people from like different orgs who have Idrises and Javis, but yeah, it's crazy.
That's what they call them in slang now. Javies. I like
Javis,
that.
yeah, it just
Yes.
I mean, I've been calling them Javies like 10 years now.
So them in chat says that they bought one for everyone here with Kalrati's credit card. So,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Kalrati.
Of course. Yeah. I'll keep it in mind.
Can you help me
So,
my tuition as well?
So you can send my Idris at fastcart at no, I'm good.
As soon as you send me your BMM, I'll send you your Idris.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that was the Capture the Idris event. But before we get off that particular topic, Capture the Idris video contest. Just gonna say, well, just scroll down and say what the prizes are. First place is the Idris M LTI. Second place is the Redeemer LTI. And third place is the Gladius for LTI. And they have more ways to win. Pilot seat of the mission for the longest amount of time during the event. It's already over. So, the event is over, so you can't do that now. This means that there's value in boarding the ship and taking control. They had issues, so they had to issue an update due to some players finding ways to position the Idris in an unreachable area. They are making a change to the contest in the interest of fair play. Only an active combat will count toward the contest. This means if you manage to position the Idris where you're invulnerable to other players, that time will not count towards the total time spent capturing the ship. So, yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. They talk about before you begin. To go down to the date. The submission period will end on March 6th, Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So that is March 7th, to almost 8 o'clock UTC. This provides you ample time to participate and edit, prepare your submission. So the participation is already ended, but you can still prepare your submission. So good luck, and can't see the explosive entries. I'm not going to scroll down to you. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, so anyone, well, Jade, you said you entered the contest?
Yeah, yeah, we entered the contest, and I did the sound design on the video, plus I was part of the boarding party. So
Sweet.
yeah, it was like being in a movie. It really did feel like it was a movie. And I wasn't the only one, like, that hangs out with Soul Citizens. Bando Calrissian was in with us too. So you'll see him in the credits on our community hub post.
Was Kaelistar also helping you guys?
Yeah, Kaelistar's part of Black Star. So
Yeah.
Kaelistar recorded the video. I did.
Onidrim sent me
Yeah,
a
and
DM.
Onidrim, posted. So yeah, it was a group effort. There can only be one winner, in which case it's the person that submits the video itself. But we look at that Idris not as it's the Idris of whoever wins; it's the Idris of the org if we win.
Okay, cool. And Ravel, thank you for the subscription for 2 months. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ravel.
I'm really curious as to like thinking ahead a little bit in the future. 'Cause like the Vandal boarding ship, the Cleaver. How would that go into the Idris and you just board it?
Don't
Maybe
they like to
from
cut
Miltron.
things?
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I guess that's something to discuss in the future because we don't know anything about that at the moment. They also have the Legionnaire. Legionnaire's still in concept. I don't know what production, where it's at in the production at the moment, but I'm assuming they'll have similar mechanics, maybe.
I think Maelstrom will be involved somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause how are we gonna board capital ships without going through the hangars, right? If you just puncture through them and just go in.
Yeah.
We shall see.
That's what I hope.
We shall see.
True.
But that is the Capture the Idris video contest. So good luck to all the submitters and participants. Up next, we have a couple of replies regarding the event. So people were saying that this is like a streamer event. Like if you're a streamer or content creator, you have more of a chance of getting on the Idris and participating or winning. Nico CID said, getting a group of friends to tackle the Idris, or maybe play opportunists and capture it at the last moment, and by playing strategically, everyone had their chances. We've seen plenty of good opportunities with the Platinum License event, from powerful organizations to sneaky solo players who succeeded. We brought improvement to these events thanks to the feedback they've collected with their last Platinum event, Platinum License event. Let us know how it goes. And we have no friend, hand on chest, and the general channel will help you find adventurers. I believe there's another reply. Yes, from Zylo. I think it's a similar post before that. But Zylo said, the feedback is fully understood and taken aboard. Nico is trying to convey that there are still ways to get involved, not anymore, but there were other ways to get involved. Even if you're not a streamer, the first player to take over and to pilot the Idris was not streaming or nor a content creator. And throughout the day, they have seen many players and orgs alike take over the Idris, all of whom were not streaming. It's a bit harder to see that because, well, they're not streaming. Do orgs have a benefit because they can cast a wider net? Absolutely. This is an event that targets a multi-crew behemoth, and there's no question that strength in numbers and coordination will benefit you. This is by design. To address the general feedback about frequency, though, we do have tools in the work that will allow them to expand upon the experience even further in the future. Specifically, we aim to be able to mass activate special events across more potentially all servers. That said, though, outside the developer crew, Idris, the team has been activating countless Idris throughout the day through the teeth with FPS AI. So, yeah. So I don't know. Could you tell the difference between an Idris cap with AI players versus developers?
Yeah, there is a big difference. One who controls a railgun more often.
Mm.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of the AI in the hangar. Like when, yeah.
Yeah, when you capture
These
that,
these posts these posts on Spectrum were really about folks who were very upset about the frequency of the Idris being made available, and I didn't see a lot of people complaining about solo versus org. It was obvious that if you had an org, you could spread that org across multiple servers, party up, server hop, right? But people were concerned about just the straight up availability, particularly across the weekend of the event. I think that's something for CIG to take in as feedback. I think, if new players, casual players come to the RSI website and see Capture the Idris as the first thing on the page, it connotes an event frequency that would probably a little bit more than what we saw over the weekend. That being said, those folks who are upset because they didn't get a chance to get on the Idris once they saw it or they didn't capture it, that's just too bad, right? Like I was one of those people. I was Admiral Kusanagi was in dialogue with Jade. Jade ended up on that Idris that was on the ground at Daymar. I heard about an Idris on the ground at Daymar. I went there. It was on the ground. I saw it, so I was able to tick seeing it off of my Idris bingo in game in that way. But then I blew up for no reason because the server was wonky, and then I think the server 30K'd.
Yeah, it did
but,
30K not long after that.
Yeah, but that's just the way it goes, right? We're in a testable alpha. We're all out here to have fun. It was fun to try and get to the Idris. And I think that folks who were upset about that, the fact that it just didn't work out for them, I think are going a little bit too far. I do think that the frequency of Idris being available is something that CIG might want to consider. So
I think once SM hits and player owned Idrises come in because of that, we will, of course, there will be members who can be like, "Hey, you guys want to come check out my Idris?" You know what I mean? And just share it around.
Yeah, I think once that happens, we'll see too many Idrises.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? We'll be sick of seeing them for a little while.
Yep.
Like happens when every new ship that everybody's interested in comes out.
You get to see an Idris. You get to see an Idris. You get to see an Idris. Everyone get to see an Idris.
Now, I will say this: when it does, I will subscribe that month just to get it, so I can do that.
I can't wait till a new ship to come out so I can stop seeing a C1 everywhere.
So I do want to say that people who are interested in seeing the Idris who didn't have a chance, this week's ISC that we'll get to in a bit shows up pretty much. I know it's not the same scene in game. Also, there's a couple of videos on YouTube that has two Idrises to us. So check those out if you're really curious.
The good thing.
Go ahead.
Real quick, the good thing about these kinds of exposures is that, CIG, there's usually sometimes known for presenting these things to us in different angles. In this case, it was more of a PvP kind of event. It doesn't mean that, they can't present it to us during Invictus, for example, where it's more passive and such, especially since I think one of the things, especially as was mentioned, it wasn't necessarily in terms of the frequency. It wasn't necessarily that. It was more so emphasized on the fact that some persons weren't able to at least see inside. So even if CIG presents the access to it during, for example, Invictus, where we have access in some ways to the Javelin, it can also appeal to the satisfaction of many, as opposed to the more combat-esque oriented approach that may have contributed to the lack in frequency, especially with respect to server performance, persons blowing up, and all those things. So it could be another angle to consider.
Yeah, I just want to say I totally agree. I think a lot of the criticism wasn't just that it was an org event, which CIG advertised it's an org versus org event, but it was also the fact that there's a lot of non-combat players in Star Citizen that even if there was an Idris on every server, they wouldn't probably participate in it because it's a PvP event. So, they wanted a different event that this wasn't. And so I do hope they can board it at something like Invictus or IE.
Yeah, hopefully the next Invictus,
agreed.
The tour will be more encompassing. Like we can get more access to the ship, but we shall see. But I just want to move on because we have quite a few more topics to get through. But this is the same. This is the same Capture the Idris video contest thread. Talk about the people taking the Idris to unreasonable. We covered that already. But Agent Red-Eye, how did it stop players from gaming the system by capturing the Idris, taken to a death base, and having one party member drop out and just attack the Idris off and on at Imperium? Xylo said, thanks to their current tool set, this will not go unnoticed. So even if people did do that, CIG will notice, and that will count to the contest. So yeah.
Not only that, but having been in Idris where we had to keep jumping because every time we come out of Quantum, within 5 minutes there were people on us. Even if people had tried to arrange some kind of shadiness like that, there would also be players fighting them because I think more than half the server was after us when we got it.
Yeah,
and we defended it until the 30K. So
cool. And this is Xylo saying that you may encounter it with an attack with FPS AI, and people seem to be, I don't want to say salty, but let's say they seem to be under the impression that it seemed to happen with more Twitch players, Twitch streamer. But as I said, it happened to people, or to a lot of people. It's just that you only see Twitch streamers because Twitch streamers are streaming. So, I mean, that's how that works.
True.
All right. So up next we have that the Idris event. The Idris event is over, but to capture the Idris screens, the video contest is still going until March 6th. This is Dumptown is back, and I'm going to scroll down to get to because this is mostly the similar information, but Dumptown schedule for 322.1. Each event runs approximately 15 hours. It's basically every day from the 27th until the 11th, so it's already ongoing. So it's for 17 hours every day until the 11th. I'm going to scroll up. Go ahead.
No, that's so cool. They got the schedule on there.
Oh yeah, they had the schedule before.
First time seeing it.
Okay, well, cool. But this is Seize Your Chance. Secure the current prices of the Anvil Hornet F7C, the Ghost, and the Tracker before the price adjustment increase. Takes effect after the Dumptown event ends on March 11th. So March 11th, the Hornet prices will increase. And there's a thread about that saying the same thing. So just want to say current prices of the Hornet is the 110, the Ghost is 125, and the Tracker is 140. So make out $5, may go up $10. We're not sure, but price of the Hornet and the Ghost and the Tracker are going up. Unfortunately for me, is that I have some Hornet to, or the Spirit, or Hornet to something. I have one of those, so I'm not sure if it should be fine. It might cost me more money to upgrade, but I'll see what I can do. I may get another $5 CCU to get to the Tracker instead of the thing that I had. So oh well, CCU games, give us CCU games, take us away. So yeah, anyone going to get some CCUs or Hornet before the price increase?
No.
Oh,
I was curious as to why specifically the Hornet price adjustment came at this time. I was thinking, okay, maybe closer to something like the Squadron 42 showcase where they're demonstrating the power of the Hornet something like that. But then I thought, okay, maybe it could be due to master modes. The F7M is present in master modes, and persons are seeing some of the benefits of it, particularly in some scenarios where it's more beneficial than other ships. So maybe that can be why they thought, okay, this could be a nice opportunity to increase its variance. But it did caught me. It did caught me. It caught me off guard. So I don't know if this was the same for others as well. But yeah.
I think it's because it's a Squadron 42 ship, and I think quite a few of those are going to go in place. The freelancer went in place a few years ago. I want to give a shout out to
recently last year as well.
I want to give a shout out to Yo-Yo Your Mag real quick. You can get free money by getting CCUs to them. And Yo-Yo, that is like couponers. You got to spend money to make money. I'm like, yes, I know what you mean, but you're right. You're going to say something?
Master modes, I believe, is a big reason why the price went up. And I feel like a lot of ships are about to go up in the coming year because of master modes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. You could be right.
I mean, for those that played the Wing Commander series, it's not unreasonable to assume that the Hornet, the Gladius, and the F8 will be ships that we get to fly in Squadron 42. So for those that want to get some practice in with the ship, there's no guarantees, right? And I have no personal insights. But to see the ship in the Squadron 42 preview videos, alongside the Gladius and the F8, it wouldn't surprise me if this ship was part of a progression that you as a pilot make. And so if that's one reason to consider the Hornet is to get some practice in if folks want to do that before Squadron 42. So.
Yeah, Citizen Ninja reminded me, the Super Hornet and the Hullseeker price already increased, and that is true. But there was no announcement about it increase. Because I want to say the Hullseeker was 195 and now it's 200 or something like that. So yeah, they have increased. So they're doing it all across the board now. All right, so yeah. Up next we have the Galactapedia update for February 2024. Welcome to this month's Galactapedia update roundup. Visit the Kins and Yulin system, beating a Shuli, and learn about the history of Mirai and take an in-depth look at Vandal's kinship. Ooh, I gotta look at the kinship. So yeah, the kinship right there. I'm going to click on that because I was when I opened these before, I didn't look at the content.
So before you open it, fastcart, let me just say that there is a component of this Galactapedia entry that might be seen as a spoiler for a portion of Squadron 42.
That is true. Yes, that is fair.
That's
so I just want to say that for folks who want to go in absolutely entirely spoiler free.
The thing is, they did a kinship commercial. No, that was the driller. Yeah. I'm mistaken. Well, that was the driller.
The thing is, the picture that they have of the kingship was actually from one of the trailers. So if folks saw the trailer, then it's the same picture.
Okay, so
but if not, then you may want to avoid just like how.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show it for 10 seconds, and then you will go to the next thing. But you have these other articles about the Mirai and the Yulin. So 10 seconds starting from now. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and I'm not going to read what it says. You can see it on the screen, or you can go to the link and see it. Might as well put it in the chat. And 1. So yeah.
Yeah, I was less concerned about the image than I was about the encounters section.
Encounters. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody just be aware. If you don't want any spoilers, stay away from that.
Here we go.
Okay, so it is off screen.
I want to know what I'm up against.
It is off screen now if people are trying to avoid it. So letting people know. Thank you for the reminder. And this is the Galactapedia update for the Spectrum post, and saying the same thing. So up next, this is going to be quite a few tabs. Yogi Clat, your own words about the Master Builds ISC video did not describe the game as CR Pista. That's basically what this says. I'm not going to read the rest of the post. This is from Catman 1968. I might have gotten the wrong order. Hold on. Yogi Clat actually responded first. Okay, there we go. Yogi Clat. All right, come on. I might have to get you to read some of these. Do you have these tabs
I got
up?
you. I got
So
you.
can you read this one for me?
All right, sure thing. So Yogi Cloud responded by saying, when we do the recordings, we have a limited time slot of about 60 minutes to get all of the recording takes. For me, as somebody who does not do this every day, it comes with a certain level of anxiety. I am a dev, not a moderator. So having multiple cameras in my face is probably not something I will ever get used to easily. That also means I cannot take long to formulate what I have to say. So sure, I have misspoken when I said SC is a space combat game, but we all know Star Citizen is more than space combat. You will find exact quotes from me on Spectrum if you search. But really, this is just me talking about my work as somebody who deals with the fight experience and space combat on a daily basis. So please do not overanalyze what I say. I speak only for the area for which I am responsible for for the entirety of the game. The core message is that there is a big push to streamline the combat and fight experience for everyone. And combat can happen to you anywhere in the verse in any ship. So that means that all ships need to be placed in balance, a scheme that is not consistent across the game. That is what the segment was about, nothing else. So then Rick responded by saying, hey, first off, I would like to thank Yogi for taking his time out of development to actually go on ISC and talk about his work, and for the fantastic job he is doing. I know firsthand because I'm always asking him for things. Secondly, I wanted to quickly address the feeling that SC is all about combat and nothing else. As someone who is responsible for the big picture, I want to personally reassure all citizens out there that combat is just one facet of the game that we are making. I know all the features that are currently in development, and we spend a huge time on things that have nothing to do with combat. For example, in 3.23, we should be introducing freight elevators, which is a long-standing feature that should enhance the cargo hauling gameplay loop. We are also pushing for brand new cargo hauling missions to greater support this. And post 3.23, we also have huge plans, not ideas for the next 10 years, but tangible plans in action that we talked about at Citizencon, which we will involve lots of non-combat gameplay loops like base building and crafting. I will also unlock further missions and loops like research for crafting blueprints, exploration, scanning and excavation of materials, both in space and on planets, etc., etc. Not even including the dynamic economy quantum. Ooh. Combat is one of many core loops that exists in Star Citizen, but it is not the only one. So if an ISC or email or segment seems to focus on one aspect of Star Citizen, that's exactly what it is. It's a focus on one aspect, not all of Star Citizen. Also, in regards to PvE and PvP, again, rest assured that the plan includes systems like Stanton being heavily policed with swift retribution for criminals and shield technology that will protect landing zones and stations. This does not mean criminality cannot happen, but the risk should be great. Then we will have systems that are lawless like Pyro, and those systems will offer greater rewards for traders or haulers, but at an increased risk to piracy. All of these systems will come into the game. We will also have some dedicated gameplay just for PvP players in lawless systems, but that's for another time. I also know our community can only react to what you see from us. So hopefully this post gives a little more insight into the bigger picture at hand. And of course, this was Richard Tyra speaking here.
And thank you for reading all that. I appreciate it. You saved my voice. And yes, I do have a big ass jug of drink so I can what my whistle per se. And y'all on trip, y'all made me laugh. I'm trying not to laugh while Kalrati is reading that. Anyway, so what do people think? I know I have a couple more tabs, but I mean this is basically the gist of it, you know. TLDR, Yogi Clat was speaking it from his own perspective, and what do people think?
I'm so glad Rich commented after Yogi, because that Yogi had all the things that people had an issue with, for Yogi to come back about. That's the least. That's the weakest one. Like, and Rich coming back to clarify all the things everyone that he left out that everyone else was upset about. I'm happy. I appreciate it.
Cool. Anyone else?
I like that they responded, and I super appreciate Yogi and his patience and him, the amount of interaction he has with the community, especially when, there are a lot of loud voices that want to shout at him about what flight should be and things like that. I really super appreciate him. That's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the other tabs about this, but there are quite a few posts regarding Master Mode or the ISC last week ISC about Master Mode. I will read this one. This is from RTCIG or Apex RT. I'm sure that this year, let me restart. I'm sure as the year progresses, we make progress with all features coming to Star Citizen, we'll be talking more about non-combat experiences. I can show you that we have such a wide range of players within the company, and even with the flight and vehicle teams here at CIG. So, what they're basically saying, like later on, we'll have other ISC talking about non-combat experiences. So that's coming up. This is another one about Master Mode from last week ISC from Yogi Clat. I think, let me read what it said. So, they were asking about, there's the archetype for ships that are like the Prospector or for Mole. Because you recall from last week, light fighters, medium fighters, heavy fighters all have their own archetype. They were asking about, more industrial stuff, basically. Yogi Clat responded, Prospector or Mole starting the archetype that is most suitable for their size and then get adjusted from there. For example, the Aurora, called a combat ship, Kalrati, starts as a light fighter and due to the size. Obviously, they don't want the ship to be as agile as a specialized dogfighter, so it gets adjusted from there. In that case, it roughly equals trading agility for durability, and you can expect the Aurora to take quite a bit more punishment than, say, for example, a Gladiator.
That's what I'm talking about.
But really not able to outmaneuver it. Currently, don't have the C2 or the Mole in their head. That's rather for Mattia, but the A2, C2, and M2 examples will be on the same archetype. For balance point of view, however, there are no difference between combat and non-combat ships. Combat can and will happen to all of them. Ships are usually balanced around offensive capability, agility, and durability, so they will need to fit a scheme that provides fairness and options on both sides. There are, of course, a lot of detailed work in there. For example, how pleasant a ship is handling, how long the Master Mode swap times are, etc. So yeah, what do people think about that?
I didn't know about this.
You didn't know? Well, this is what we're here for.
So,
I think it's really important. Sorry, Kalrati, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just think it's really important to note that Yogi had to begin with reminding the community that he's a fully human guy, that is a dev, and because we are in this open, testable, alpha, unique experience, sometimes we forget that everybody that's in front of us isn't a professional communicator. right? And what I appreciate about his post is the vulnerability he was able to take on in front of all of us by saying, "Hey, just doing this gives me a little bit of anxiety. I got 5 cameras in my face. I don't always have the time to fully formulate all my thoughts." Right. And my hope is that folks can just hold on to that without having to be told in each and every instance that they have a human being who didn't go into communications in front of them. Right. They have a human being that didn't go into marketing. Right. They have a human being who went into development, and almost all development, almost all the time, happens behind the scenes without having to deal with us parsing every single word or some inconsistency that we might imagine, so that we can yell at them on Spectrum, right?
And
so
I'm going to jump in
appreciate-
real quick because a great example of this was the carrot killer being the the Odyssey. The developer was just excited about the ship that they were working on, but I was among them, but I was like, wait, the carrot killer? What? Are you sure about that? So yeah, but they were just excited about the ship. And that's an example.
Yeah, I just think we got to remember that we're on a journey, and it's an exciting one. It's a unique one. We're lucky to have these opportunities and these insights, but just always try to remember to fully humanize everybody that's involved.
Yeah, exactly. That's what ISC and Star Citizen Live is here to do, humanizing the developers.
And,
I agree.
Yeah. Can I say something real? Oh.
Yeah, Pops, go ahead. What you have to say?
No. Okay. No, I was just going to say BBG, well said.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not BB. I'm saying Captain.
I started with that, so.
See, I did it.
0 days since someone had called Cap BBG. You got to reset the counter now, Cap.
Yeah, reset the clock. Reset the clock.
Yeah, I put my foot in that one.
All good. No, I appreciate you, Pops, all day, every day.
So master modes and atmosphere. I'm not going to read the whole thing. That's basically the question. Yogi Clat responded, master modes in 322.1 was superficially tuned for Atmo. Originally, it was not planned to have an Atmo map for master mode in 322, but given that this is highly experimental mode, we just turned it on to see what happened. For all 323 ships, all ships will be thoroughly balanced, and it can't give you a goal for velocity jet though. They are all still pending. So yeah, master modes and atmosphere, not in 322, but coming in 323.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can't wait.
I kind of wanted to chime in on the whole thing where, one of the concerns were specifically when it comes to balancing for master modes for non-combat ships. I would say to not give them too much or any flack really. Even if you're concerned about them balancing and using combat as one of the central core pillars when it comes to balancing, ships like the Prospector, for instance, because there's something that researchers do called a design of experiments, and it sometimes is central. It's centered around some kind of core aspect. In this case, they've chosen combat. And in some cases, it may upset persons because they may think, okay, I'm a trader, I'm a miner. Why are they balancing a ship around combat? But when you think about it, combat is one of those central generalized focus points for any ship that is doing what? It's pushing the thrusters. It's, it's putting it under some kind of load, and many parameters that are involved that, even though you may not, experience combat as a flyer, as a flyer of said non-combat ship, it doesn't mean that those thrusters that are being pushed, those things that are being experienced due to other experiences that you may see in the game, it doesn't mean that it can't be beneficial. Because once they actually center this design of experiments around all of this, you can develop, prediction models that can say, okay, for this scenario, if I were to tune these thrusters for this non-combat ship, I can expect this thing to happen to benefit someone who's flying the ship, the trading ship. So, I would say to not really, be too worried about them using combat as a way to balance everything, because once again, it touches a lot of aspects of ship maneuvers and having to push a ship in a certain way and defense and all that.
Oh man, everybody coming out with like the big guns tonight.
Not me.
I'm Yogi.
I'm gonna get through the next two topics real quick, but we can cover them. But basically, this one is about Dragonfly referral was deleted. There was a problem with Dragonfly referral bonuses, but they fixed it. So from Adrian from Turbulent, Dragonflies are now back in your hangar. Thank you for your patience. So if you lost it, if you noticed that your referral and you didn't have a Dragonfly in your hangar, they should be back in your hangar. So that's that. It's the last one before we get to ISC. Vulcan, a no-go for 323. That's basically the question. We can talk to Ben Perry. Not talk to him, but we can see his reply. He says, hi. While they don't know whether or not Vulcan it will be in the 323 release, they can definitely say that it's not something you can just gradually shift to. It is a choice of one or the other as startup. Initially, the plan is to have both options available to the player, though we'll see about phasing out. We'll see later, though we will later phase out the Direct 3D 11 option. So they're trying to phase out the Direct 3D 11 option. That's not an announcement. They haven't done it yet, but they're thinking about it. I think Alex mentioned of HDR in that thread was a response to adding more graphic options rather than something that was related to Vulcan. And then again, they responded. They have very little awareness about future PU release schedule. Their own work is currently spawned for the 2 targeters, so they're not entirely focused about that. So they're talking about that. Ben Perry is working on 142, and with regard to Vulcan, they do want to phase out their Direct 3D 11 at some point, but they're not doing it yet. So make sure you have a up-to-date graphics card if you don't have if you're still running Direct 3D 11. But you have some time before you have to get to that. Speaking of, I've been hearing rumors about RTX 5000 series coming out. I don't know when, but there are rumors floating around about that. So yeah. Any thoughts? No? Okay. No problem. Let's go right into ISC. This is called Citizen Tactical Capital. Now, I went through this earlier. I could not find a good midpoint breaking point. So we're just going to go through the whole thing. It's almost 20 minutes long. So hopefully y'all stay awake. Get something to drink.
Grab a snack.
I have something to drink beside me, as y'all see. So I'm good. I'm going to get some snack. But yeah, so here we go, ISD.
Last week was our inaugural Idris War Games test, and while that completed earlier this week with many lessons learned, and the ship itself is still awaiting important resource management, maelstrom, multi-crew gameplay work, and more before it'll arrive permanently in the persistent universe, we here at ISC still jumped at the chance to showcase the current artistic progress of the vehicle inside and out, as well as to enlist a few of our oldest friends in providing a sort of director's commentary to the proceedings. Here's how it went.
Just a bit of camera. So, hi, I'm John Krug. I'm Nick Tearsley, part of the art director for the 42 era.
Your new title. I don't even know what I am anymore. Shall I say that? Should I say that? That'd be good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Nate. I've not got a clue what I am anymore.
He's the one.
That'll go down well.
The one beef of the
Should we
week.
do that? Yeah.
Get it
Some
in early.
days I'm this, other days I'm that.
What do you want to be today, Nate?
I don't know what I want to be today. What should I be today? Yeah, I was the art director for the thing. There you go.
Do you want me to go first?
You can be my bloody guest, mate.
Okay. Hi, my name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle art director.
Hi, my name's Nate. I was the vehicle art director.
We've been asked today to give you a little director's commentary over the Idris that you will have seen in the PU being fought over recently. So the exterior, this has had quite a few iterations over time in terms of not the shape stayed the same, but how like the breakup, the materials on it, the engine the thrusters of.
Yeah, the shapes remain pretty true. We did make amendments to the exterior to fit the interior in because the number of spaces that we needed for Squadron sort of slowly increased. So it's a very tightly packed capital ship.
If you look at the original concept, it was quite a thin ship as well.
Yeah.
It just couldn't fit everything in it.
I think my favourite feature from the original one was the hilarious flight of stairs that came down in the middle of the flight deck. Yeah, I think that was my first fix.
Then we're going to fly into the back of it, which is the way most players should normally enter the Idris.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
You can go in the front, but that'll be a bit...
It's getting dark now, John.
So there we got... In Squadron, there is space for 2 Gladiuses, Gladii, and there's a space for the Argo MPV at the back, but you can technically fit 3 ships in here.
Yeah, when you first land, you'll sort of notice that the exits for the hangar are generally sort of at a lower level. One of the things we do a lot of throughout the ship actually is just slight changes in elevation, even though you're on the same deck. And the general layout is fairly symmetrical, I would say. The ship, when it was first put together, was really sort of, I would say, designed from the inside out. So there was a lot of amendments on the exterior to make the interior, interior to me is always king. You spend a lot longer on the interior of the ship. So we sculpted the exterior skin around that. If you were to hide that exterior, I mean, there is no breathing room. It is like a bit of an engineering masterpiece, to be honest.
This is where the MPUV hangs from the ceiling.
Skydiving also,
Yeah, I've watched many people accidentally fall out the bottom of the Idris in atmosphere out that hole. So don't do that.
Or if you want to recreate the alien dropship scene, it's
do
pretty
that.
cool. The gravity room was originally upstairs. We had to shift things around through the process again, taking inspiration from real world scientific areas. That whole room actually closes into its own cylinder. You have to sort of open the door to sort of get in, and you can close it behind you. It's quite a trip. And for all intents and purposes, unless you're going to your bunk or you're going to very specific areas like the briefing room or the gravity room, which you've just seen there are no dead ends. It was put together when I was on the ship and originally sort of designed it. It was very much sort of focused around multiplayer combat at the time, and a good multiplayer map is you've always got options. You've always got at least 2 options at every corridor, every room.
You're constantly flowing around it.
No dead end. So as you can see.
I actually had a bug this morning come through about the writing on the wall being shorthand.
Oh dear.
So it's spelt incorrectly.
Oh.
I was like, no, it's not. It's an intentional choice.
Yeah.
So we've got the ATC room, which overlooks the hangar, which is obviously very useful for being an ATC. We'll come back later to the other side to see what's in there. There's a lot of decks to the Idris.
Yeah, there's the subdeck in the Argo, which you'd have seen, or the utility vehicle, I should call it. You've got your main deck. This is the sort of the main symmetrical area, and then through the heart, I would say the center of that sort of floor plan is all of the, I would say, business side of the room. So obviously you've got your mess hall here.
It's a chow line. Don't talk about the chow line. It's,
I hear roast lamb is still on special.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an inside joke, but sleeping quarters.
This is for your general crew for the ship. The bunks have shutters on them, a bit more privacy.
With inbuilt home entertainment system.
So this is 2 mirrored, I guess, solo cabins. The pilots get their own little area at the end.
Which are about to get a little bit bigger, but you didn't hear that from me.
So the version that you're seeing here is taken from a point in time on Squadron recently, but there are lots of little tweaks that we'll talk about in the future to deliver more of the Idris. One of them, the missile room, is a big one that's still to come that is not available here at this time. But there's, like Nate said, lots of other little tweaks as we get closer to shipping Squadron that we'll be making.
Again, inspirations with regards to archetype for Aegis. You can see there's a strong inspiration from some of my favourite 1980s movies through here. I like to see material breakup, introduce textures, leather where we can do to make it feel a bit softer and more inviting, as a good habitational area should be. And it's different for different ships, right? But when you're designing a capital ship, it kind of needs to tick all of the boxes. From a putting the ship together point of view, everything is modular. So you'll notice probably in the PU now, a lot of these elements are reused in some of the Aegis ships, simply because, we try and put the ships together in a modular fashion. And the bigger the ship gets, the more modular it needs to be. You really want to avoid doing too much unique stuff because it will hammer your video memory. Because this was I would say it's the first capital ship we've done. It is the first, isn't it? Yeah, and it was really sort of, genesis of, this was put into production actually around the same time as the Retaliator, many years ago. And it was at that time that we started to establish, a really good understanding of how we want habitational areas to feel and look, feeling being a prominent feature. Engineering, again, completely different. You got the technology side of it and the medical side of it. So they became the sort of like 4 style guides, I would say, that became the springboard for a lot of the other ships to sort of follow on from.
Yeah, you see a lot of similar stuff in the Hammerhead, which actually uses a lot of the Idris kit as well. And different areas have their different technical feeling.
You'll notice here when you come in through the centre of the med bay, for example, there are very little right angles. When you look at the floor plan, for example, it generally dollies off at 45-degree angles or 60-degree angles. I don't like right angles in floor plans. Things need to flow, as you can see there. You're going to get a right angle when you come out of a door. There's not much you can do about that. But yeah, and it's all interweaved. You'll notice there's lots of windows that look outside. There's lots of windows that look back into the hangar. So we're not doing any cheating. Escape pods here.
Yeah, right at the front of the ship now. So this is the manned turret at the front, the big one up top. And then lots of escape pods here for everyone that's in the sort of upper front half if things go sideways and you need to get off the ship. So going back down the starboard side, have to do the bathroom head of port and starboard.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned that, John, because navigation has been a little bit of an issue. So these corridors that you're running around at the moment, they're going to have a lot more of an injection of colour in the future. So you'll have a much better understanding of whether you're going forwards or backwards or whether you're on the left or the right. Worth noting as well, like all the spaces that you're seeing are completely undressed. There are, tens of thousands of entities that end up on top of what you're seeing for Squadron because it needs to feel more lived in, it needs to tell that story. So it's kind of bare bones seeing it this way, which is kind of strange for me at the moment.
Yeah, it was very strange when we were getting this ready for the PU to take off all those layers and sort of see it in a state that we've not seen.
Plus also we're not seeing it with NPCs.
Yeah.
When you see this with NPCs and people walking around carrying out their duties, engineers doing their things at panels or whatnot, it feels lived in, it feels alive. But hopefully when it goes into the PU, there'll be plenty of people running around anyway, which will make it feel very similar for you guys.
Hamster balls.
You want to get buff? Go to the gym.
I don't know what we had there originally opposite the ATC. Was it? It was the pilot?
It was the pilot ready area, but we moved the pilot ready area down to the same level as the hangar so you can get your gear, scramble out as quickly as possible rather than getting your gear,
run down a flight of stairs,
falling down 2 flights of stairs, and then sort of hobbling into your ship with a broken ankle.
Then going further back, we're sort of halfway, 3/4 of the way back.
Yeah, you got your sort of, I think,
a crossover point here.
Yeah, you got 2 crossover points on the hangar. Now you're going to sort of come through. And this is where a lot of the asymmetry comes in, although the footprint is sort of similar. You'll come through. On one side, you've got Brig, which is where all the naughty people go, and we have a lot of naughty people in the game. There's a security office in there, and on the opposite side of that is, basically the opposite side of the ship, is the armory, which you'll see in a little bit.
Big escape pods, so big shared ones rather than individual pods. You might have seen, as we've gone around, some big red signposted rooms. They, I believe, have EVA airlocks in them, as well as sort of maintenance storage areas, so all signposted so you know in a hurry where to go. Then the main briefing room.
Main briefing room, again, integral to Squadron. This is where you're going to get your mission briefings and so on. It's a big ship.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Like I say, there's a lot crammed in.
Yeah.
So now we're in the opposite side to where the brig was. So this is the armory and shooting range.
Quite a bit of inspiration from RoboCop. Yeah, as you can probably all tell, I'm a bit of an 80s buff when it comes to the movies. When I had to do things for real, actually build things, it visually makes quite a big difference to me as a visual kind of guy.
That firing range area is another one of the areas that has changed around a bit over time, because it was an all-in-one.
I think it was on the other side as well.
Yeah.
I think we flipped it, and then we got into the logistics of, you know, what happens if you take your gun away from there? What's going to happen to you as a player? So there was, you know, 'cause you're not supposed to walk around a military ship with a firearm in your hand, basically. So yeah, lots of minor changes there, more for the social experience.
So this is above the rear of the hangar, not all the way at the back, because it has two lifts that go down to, or one lift that goes down to the... Two?
Yeah,
or one each side.
there's one each side that connects with the hangar, so if you're bringing in supplies or getting ready to go out on a long journey into the depths of space, you can, you know, utility vehicle drops the cargo off and you can load up pretty efficiently. Decontamination area before you get into what would be the engine room.
Very different feeling, like we talked about, compared to the rest of the ship.
Yeah, it's the thing with Aegis, we sort of looked at a lot of real-world scientific, I would say, you know, hydrogen colliders, nuclear reactors. CERN was a big sort of inspiration with a lot of the paneling and general sort of feel. And that's continued in the Gauntlet and a lot of the other Aegis ships that you'll see.
And then you will have seen them dotted around in all the corridors, but there's a lot of wall panels that hold all the components. So whilst we do have some big capital size components like in the engine room, there's a lot of sort of secondary redundancy with all these extra wall panels dotted around. So if one area of the ship goes down, it's not completely scuppered. You can still route power around.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing in the original design document, John, where if life support systems went down on the rear of the ship, there was actually sort of like large bulkheads that close that section of the ship off, so the rest of the ship can survive. So again, you know, thinking about sort of multiplayer aspect, if you were to try and ambush one of these things, I think there's going to be quite a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah, those bulkheads, I think you probably will have seen some of them in the corridors, as we watch big yellowy orange.
Yellowy orange, okay. The layout as well, the engine room, you'll notice, is pretty much, if you were boarding the ship from the hangar, pretty much the most well-protected room of the ship. Again, with that multiplayer feeling in mind. I think going off, do you remember Titan mode? Squadron, not Squadron, Battlefield?
Yeah.
Really just trying to create this sort of layer upon layer until you get to the engine room to make that quite difficult to ultimately disable the ship.
Like we talked about, there's a lot of flow in the interior, but there are those areas that have very distinct choke points to get to. Like the bridge is one, whilst there is multiple ways to get there, they're quite well defendable, and then the engine room is the other. So those are two areas you really don't want people getting to uninvited.
Yeah.
There's a few ways you can go up to the bridge. There's obviously this lift, but there is also a set of staircases either side. So you have these sort of tactical stations at the back, flanking each side, down on a lower level from the main bridge area.
I think thing I would say most proud of on the bridge. There's been a lot of rework done, but you'll notice here the view out is pretty spectacular. Removed what would be the cross frame, which went across the front of the ship, so you got completely unobstructed views out to space. But it still feels chunky and weighty, which it needs to, which is a success. So that was a little bit of a director's commentary on the Idris, which hopefully you'll have seen and experienced as part of the event that's been going on in the Persistent Universe recently. And as great as the ship looks in the video and the events, there's still quite a bit of work to do before we can give it to players to have for real. Things like resource network, multi-crew gameplay, all these things that make it an actual living, breathing capital ship that you want to run and own. That's pretty much it for now. Yeah, to echo what John said, hope you enjoyed what you saw. Still a ways to go with regards to sort of delivering, the ship as a whole for the PU. But I just want to give a shout out to all the teams that have been involved in working on it. I mean, the list is endless. Artists, designers, concept artists, lighting crew, social design, level design. I mean, it's huge. There is literally hundreds of people involved in delivering such an asset to yourselves, and we really hope with the limited time that you get it, that you really enjoy it. Yeah, I'd be surprised if there's people at the company that haven't touched it in some way or form over the years. It's such a big part of the experience.
So what we learned this week? Well, we learned that the Idris is a delight to behold inside and out, that it's benefited and continues to do so from years of iteration in Squadron 42, that there's still lots to be done beyond the currently fantastic art to bring the gameplay to it that it and its owners deserve, and that when all that is said and done, this is going to be one heck of an addition to the Persistent Universe. For Inside Jared Huckabee... Oh no! Is Idris the ship you've been looking for? For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week. Some weeks you have it, some weeks you don't. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Stupid.
Jared Huckabee is a national treasure and must be protected at all costs. All right. Let's free for all. And who wants to go first about this ISC?
I'll take a stab at it.
Okay, Pops.
All right. The way the MPUV drops out of the ship is well worth the price of the ship. I think that is cool. You get to play, like they said, I forget the young lady's name who piloted the ship, and she got to say in the pipe 5x5 and Aliens with an S.
Wasn't it Rodriguez?
No, that's not her name. Michelle Rodriguez? No, that's
No.
not Michelle.
To her character name was Rodriguez, right?
Oh, it was? Okay, I don't
so.
remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I think that's well worth the price.
Rodriguez, yeah.
Okay, I think that's well worth the price to be able to do that. But one thing I'm really
Script says nope.
No? Oh, okay. I don't.
Bunkmeyer, that's it. Bunkmeyer. Okay.
No, Bunkmeyer was
No, her partner was Spunkmeyer, but her name, her character name, Griff, was supposed to be. I thought it was Rodriguez. Well, damn, you
it was Corporal Farrow.
Okay, Corporal Farrow. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, you get to play.
Can I just call her Red Shirt number 4?
Yeah,
and make it all easy.
Remember her name.
Yeah. But the other thing is that I think the way they make the ships is, I think, to me is amazing. The details that they put in it, the color palettes that they use to, for the military ships versus industrial ships, I think is amazing. they don't. One of the things is I've always felt like these are not space submarines. They have they're military ships, but they don't have that submarine, kind of closed off, and they add windows and things, so they don't feel like that to me. And the detail that they put into them, I know probably I shouldn't mention this ship, but I have a lot of confidence in them when they get to the Endeavor. So, yeah.
Yeah, and matter of fact, John Koo is in charge of Endeavor. I don't know if that changed, but he was in charge of Endeavor. So, yeah. But as far as the drop ship for the MPV, that's kind of like the sneak peek that we saw with the aerial hangar, because it's going to be something similar. Just want to make sure the people are not standing on top of it when it opens. Because I think that's going to be me. I'm just yeah. That's probably going to be me at least one time. Anyone else?
Yeah, let me say, and fastcart, if you could take the video back to the 3-minute 37-second mark.
Oh, you're going to be exact. Okay, all right.
While fastcart is doing that, let me say that I've been this way a long time, and so the girl I was dating when I was 21, she knew me very well, and she got for my birthday, my 21st birthday, a book by a guy named Rick Sternbach and Michael Okuda. And the book was called The Star Trek: The Next Generation Technical Manual.
When you said Okuda, I knew it was Star Trek. Go ahead.
And it was a set of technical schematics for the Enterprise D. And it walked you through almost every facet and feature of the Enterprise D. And I remember thinking at the time, man, if we could get something like that in a game, it would be really, really transformative. And so I just want us to take a moment to recognize, like with this shot here, the engineering, the design, the detail. This is the most comprehensively detailed ship, I think, in the history of space gaming ever. And sometimes we get so much stuff in this process that we move past stuff kind of quick. But when I saw this, I haven't even been on the ship yet, right? But when I saw this, it reminded me of that Star Trek: The Next Generation Technical Manual, and how, like, we're here, right? We're here. And all of this is fully realized, right? For those that got on the ship, they know. All this, and we saw it when they were walking around in the IFC. All of this is fully realized. It's just incredible, right? It's an incredible gaming experience and opportunity.
Real quick, I just want to say it's comprehensive and it's not done yet.
Right. So I was just in awe. I was just blown away by how much they got into this, and I'm super excited for the future of the game when we see things like this. It's just incredible.
Yeah, you're right, because then it's not just a empty hull of a ship. You've got engineering, you got ventilation that actually functions and has a purpose. So, and to put all of that in there is amazing. Yeah.
Okay. I recognize it now. Yeah. That is straight out of Alien.
Yep, in the pipe, 5x5.
Somebody wake up Hicks. Anyway, somebody else go. Sorry, if you haven't seen Aliens or haven't seen it in a long time, go ahead and watch Aliens again. It still holds up. That's my recommendation. Someone else go.
Okay, go. All right, I'm gonna go. So, I was talking about this earlier, and I appreciate, now looking back at it in the second time. I'm gonna say this though, fastcart. We're gonna have trouble, bro, on your BMM.
You've been telling me that. You're not the first person to say that. Go ahead.
We're gonna have a lot of issues here because number one, We're gonna have to find some folks. You know what
I
I'm
know.
saying? And
I know.
I'm trying to figure it out there, buddy. I'm really trying to figure it out.
It's not just gonna be NPCs. That's what I was hoping, or Blade AI. That's what I was hoping when I got it. But yeah.
yeah. I'm just gonna leave it there, though, buddy.
And Griffin, no, I'm still not selling the BMM. Even after it's ISC, I'm not gonna sell the BMM. Okay, so stop asking.
Listen, I'm not even going. I mean, Pop's already talked about the Endeavor. I ain't even thinking about that yet, because that's a whole nother monster to even worry about. Good Lord. Yeah.
Anyone else? Kalrati? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm really glad that the pilots get private rooms. Because the bunk beds was my biggest gripe about the ship, because I'm not crashing on a bunk bed. Yeah. So
that's why it's Captain Uri. You have your own quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Uri. All right.
Kalrati, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I really appreciated one of the things that Nathan Beersley had said with respect to the corners, because I know that from the very first showcase where he had talked about I think it was the big guns of the UEE many years ago. I think he had identified that point, and it seems as though he held true to that, especially when it came to level building, because this definitely is a game level. You know, when you look at games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, and some of the close quarters kind of maps that they have. Even, I was playing Dead Space, and I was occasionally looking at the map, and the flow, how close and compact, this ship is, the interior, but how well it flows in between different rooms. It's really, really well crafted. So for them to actually incorporate all of these things, versus games where it's really sparse, and we have these long hallways, but you also have some negative space. They've utilized so much space, arguably very, very effectively. So over the years, they've definitely, it's definitely a testimony to their refinement with all of these things, with the ship design, with the level design, and it does make me excited to see how they use it in a single player environment. And of course, when we actually get it in our hands. I particularly liked the part where they had, the hangar, and then just above it was the hangar bay. I really appreciated how well that flowed between those two rooms there.
You mean the pilot ready area, right?
Was it? So they said, well, so after the ship lands, if it has some cargo and such, you could actually put it onto the cargo lift.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay, I thought you were talking about the pilot area. No mind.
I didn't really think about how useful that is,
Right. And the funny thing is, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but one of the funny things is, this ship was probably semi-ready in 2016 when they were trying to roll out Squadron 42 around that time. But it looked like they went back and did some, I don't want to say minor work, but they changed some stuff around and made it even better. So, I mean, people may complain that the game is taking too long, but, I mean, it's working out, in my opinion. It seems to be working out, because you get these beautiful ships in your hangar, or, in space, what have you. A couple of things that, let me see. I like the joke when they talk about they spelled hangar incorrectly. Hopefully they'll get that fixed. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm pretty sure that's on purpose. I take a lot of 1980s inspiration. People who are from that generation, like I am, can definitely see that. I love it. I'm not gonna get it. Yeah. I'm happy with my BMM, happy with my Endeavor, but I'm hoping people who will get this or who have this are looking forward to it and enjoying what they see. Yeah. and it's not done yet. So that's part of the reason why where they're coming out yet. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question if it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I know the hangar, and then there's the MPUV. Is there a place on the ship for any land vehicles?
What?
Yeah. So,
Is it?
well,
Okay.
remember when I think one of the Gamescom presentations, there is a ramp on either
Okay.
end or in the rear that actually goes down.
Mm.
But in terms of like a parking bay, that's a good question.
I don't think you want to land the ship. I don't think you want to land the ship in order for a ship for a vehicle to get on. Do you? I mean,
no.
The ship does land.
Yeah,
The ship does land.
It does
Yeah.
land, and I do remember the presentation Kalrati's talking about because I remember didn't a tire come off the
Yeah,
Ursa
it
rover?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, if it's still like that, then yeah, you should be able to drive a vehicle into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we're running a little bit behind, so I'm gonna stop this here and go to the Machinima. And the Machinima is only 2.5 minutes, but it's called Epic Low Flying Under the Radar. It started in 2024, and it's done by Kaelistar. Matter of fact, we are joined by Kaelistar. I see that they're muted, but if they can unmute real quick. How are you doing?
How are you? Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Anything you want to tell us about the video before we start?
This was a low-fly event between the French community, I'm not sure what their Discord is actually called, and the low-fly network and XGR, and it was just a bunch of pilots on Daymar having fun. I usually don't go to those events just because I'm so busy with everything else, but I decided to go and just kind of record and then post it for everybody. I didn't realize it would be that people would like it, I guess, as much as they did on the community hub, but that's great because it's more eyes on the community, and I think the low flying and racing community have some of the best pilots in the verse, so it was cool to kind of showcase what those guys can do. I mean, it looks kind of crazy because it's such thin atmosphere and low gravity. You can't obviously do stuff like this on Hurston, but it's pretty amazing what these guys can do with their ships.
In fact, Jade, could you do me a favor and post the community hub link again along with the video? I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look. This is Epic Low Flying Under the Radar, started in 2024 by Kaelistar.
Дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Сумма нули погибает на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лим, поцелуй на шее. Как голова, правда назад, черный каскад. Вижу твой взгляд, снэп многоярд. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя. Так дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Сумма нули погибает на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лим, поцелуй на шее. Как голова, правда назад. Черный каскад, вижу твой взгляд, снэп многоярд. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя. Так дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Сумма нули погибает на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лим, поцелуй на шее. Как голова, правда назад. Черный каскад, вижу твой взгляд, снэп многоярд. Мог тебя взять, но ты не моя. Его летаю на пьяном угаре, я словно сияю. Ты восприняла в штыки, а я летаю. Дайте пацанам не остановиться без этих драм. Тут определиться, много я видел, чужие тут лица. Перелистнул эти страницы. Сядь себя на деле, твой дом мамке. Траву газ манте, взять тебя без бей. Так дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Сумма нули погибает на сцене. Снова один, прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю лим, поцелуй на шее. Как голова, правда назад. Черный каскад, Так дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Сумма нули погибает на сцене. Снова один прогуляюсь без тени. Заливаю один поцелуй на шее.
Okay, it did start over. My bad. That was an abrupt ending, so that's totally my fault. Sorry about that. That was on me. So yeah, that was pretty good, and I love how I should let other people go first, but I just say I love how the ship explosion matches to the beat. But that's what I'm gonna say first. But yeah, anyone else want to have any comments first?
Yeah, I mean, great, good.
Okay,
Oh, no,
Jade.
you go first. No. Fist.
Okay, Fist.
Great production, great video, cool music, good stuff.
Yeah, I do like the music. That was cool. Jade, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the music was fire. And the flying. What I love about Kale's videos, and if anybody's ever seen any of his other stuff, he edits to the beat. He edits to the music, and it just makes it feel so much more visceral and epic. So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Jade.
You're welcome, Kale.
Can I?
Pops,
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Pops.
Oh, okay. The flying, it just like it's like falling leaves or bugs. So I think that was pretty cool because I've never seen that before. The way that they were flying, kind of twisting and turning, kind of like almost as if the wind was pushing them along, kind of.
Sure. Yeah, and you can only really do that on the moons with super thin atmo and low G. So this is probably going away with control surfaces. So I think it'll be a dying art when you looking at it like this. I don't think we'll really see it too much anymore because it's almost as though you have no aero profile on the moons like this. So you can do this kind of crazy stuff where there's no resistance.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Hell. Let me ask you a question because I see Smashley do it. I see I forget the other guy's name. Starts with a K too. And
Yosa?
no, I think it's like Cryzaston or something like that.
Okay.
I forget his name. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so like when the game gets to the point where it becomes like because I'm seeing a lot of crashing here, and this is going to be expected. So I'm just trying to figure out like when you guys get to that point where the game starts to become really, I guess like consequences like that. How are you going to fit the bill to continue to keep doing it?
I honestly don't know.
Do you have other professions? Okay.
I don't know. I think it'll be harder, way harder to explode the way that we explode now. I think you'll soft death much more often, and you'll have like, I don't know, maybe a safety capsule that you're in that can take a lot more punishment or something, and you can be revived from that. But I don't know. That's a great question because Death of a Spaceman is going to change all this fundamentally.
Right. That's why I often looked at this like, wow, it's cool as heck.
Yep.
But I'm like,
yep. I'm with you. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Yo Meg in chat asked, did someone in the community make the music or the licensed music?
No, I found this song on YouTube. It's copyrighted, but the artist allows it to be used on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
There's a lot of artists that do that now.
Yeah.
I hear a sample in there that I use, so I was like, okay, yeah. So, yeah.
It's a remix of a song called Dior.
Yeah, Bando put it in chat. Dior Polo Zini. It's a remix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tenzu remix of Polo Zeni. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Kels, can I ask you a question about like not just about your opinion, but like the whole low flying community, like how they feel about master modes? I'm really curious about that.
I don't know. I think that people have a lot of different gripes with it. Some of them are just so different from anybody else. Like some people don't like that it's a mode that switches the ship's performance. Personally, I would like to see performance tied to heat, component degradation, and component limits. But I understand that that's much more complicated than doing something like SCM and nav mode and then saying, okay, there's limits within these parameters that you can do or push, like those limits. I think that those guys aren't really the ones that are going to be affected by master modes as much, because I don't know how many of these guys are actually into dogfighting. Like myself, I don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish.
I was gonna say I myself don't do combat like at all, ship to ship combat, or dogfighting. So master modes, as long as I can still feel like I'm going fast, that's all I'm really concerned about, I guess.
Okay, because I was saying like it doesn't just affect like dogfighting, because like a while back we had a conversation with like the racers and dogfighters talking to each other about how we felt about it as we were experimenting it in master modes, talking it over, and just how a lot of people felt disparaged, as if a lot of the things that we've loved about the feeling of speed and like the danger aspect of it, that we felt like how easy it is to
I know.
Everybody.
I know what you're saying. I think that being able, with this type of stuff, you'd be in nav mode, so you're going to go the max speed of your ship anyway. As far as I understand it, I know the racing community at first was really sort of freaked out and thinking it was the end times when they heard about master modes and the first test came out, and it didn't feel right. But I know as the more iterations are made on it, it seems like it's moving in a general direction that people are more inclined to accept, at least in the racing community. But
they're
I don't
still figuring it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Like, even in the combat community, we're trying to figure out like new combat strategies.
For sure.
Since everything else is gone now.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but we are over time. But I do want to thank Kaelistar for joining us, and thank you, Jade, for bringing Kaelistar in. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Black Star
Thank you for
represent.
being here.
Yeah. Hey, thanks
Thank you
for
being here.
featuring it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
And congrats on your MVP.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to hopefully
nice.
you'll get more. So yeah, go ahead and check out Kaelistar on the community hub, and check out their channel for more videos.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
with that, we are going to start wrapping up. But so we're going to get to on Saturday. Now, unfortunately, on this coming Saturday, there is no Soul Voices, so it'll be coming back on March the 9th. But I do want to give a PSA, public service announcement. Daylight Saving Time is coming in 2 Sundays. Not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after the one coming up. So, mark your calendars. Make sure you get if you have a manual clock that you still use, it's not connected to the internet or what have you. But please be careful about that. But yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Break it down for people who don't even pay attention to this stuff. Does it mean that the time is going to get increased by an hour, decreased by an hour?
In North America or just America, we're springing forward. So instead of UTC being 2100 and UTC, it'll be 4 p.m. UTC will still be 2100, but it'll be 5 p.m. on Eastern time. So yeah.
Cool.
That
so
helps?
message me like 3 hours before ISC, so I'll ask you what time exactly starting.
All right. Yeah, but it's spring forward, fall backward. That's how you keep track. So yeah, that is part of PodSat. Even though there's no Soul Voices, you can still stay tuned to the other show, the Astropub, the Captain Table. I'm going to try to get on this show coming up, but I'm not sure if he has room yet. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's still 11 p.m. UTC. Then they're followed by Relay Station with Relay SC at 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. UTC. So that is PodSat or Podcast Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's a big show. I'm going to try to hype it up a bit. It's our anniversary show, 4th anniversary. It's been 4 years. 4 years. We started in 2020, March 2020. So yeah, that is March 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 1 a.m. UTC. So you see all those beautiful faces on the screen there. I don't know if we're all going to be on there, but I will be there. Most of us hopefully will be there. So it should be a fun show, talking about highlights and general thoughts about Soul Citizen. So it should be fun. And with that, I want to say thank you for everybody for joining us. Captain Serious Fun, Face, Jared, Kalrati, Poppin' Face, You Ride a Smoke, Kaelistar, Rain Cloud, and Flero. That's it. Yes. And thank you everyone in chat for joining us. I hope you had fun. And yes. You can become a Soul Bro, Soul Sis, or Soulmate. Soul Citizen membership has the privileges. Click the join button below on YouTube. Soul Citizen, that's starting in everywhere on social media. When you want to support us, you can support us on Patreon. Click the link below. You can buy our merchandise. Click the link below. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, or follow, depending on what platform you are, and hit the notification icon so you know when we go live. And we are going to raid Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a long-time Soul Citizen community member. So send him our love. And with that, peace, love, and soul.